y'all. Welcome back to another video. It is Black Balloon. Y'all already know what's going on. Now look, in this video, we're going to go more along the lines of the last video we did, which was about Gabriela Jimenez, right? And the disappearance of Gabriela Jimenez. So in that video in the comments, like I told y'all, like this channel it's powered by y'all, basically. So every time y'all request something, and especially if it's good, if there's enough for me to research, I jump on it and I try to get the videos done that y'all request, especially ones that I see. Somebody requested that I do Tammy Lynn Leppert, if I pronounced her last name correct. So she had a small role in the movie Scarface, right? She was also like a beauty model, pageant model, and she was very young when she started. She was 18 years old, if I'm not mistaken, when she disappeared. Now, in this video, I did find two really interesting articles that talked about her disappearance and the possible theories on why she disappeared. Now, I thought this one would also be interesting because till this day, there's absolutely no word of what happened to her. Not sure if she died, if she continued on another life somehow, no idea. So I thought we would get into this video, go over the article and see what y'all think about it. Like, I wanted to start doing more videos that are like, mysterious disappearances, things that just, like I said in the last video, things that just kind of go away from what we always do on this channel. It's not like I'm changing the character of the channel and just starting different kind of stuff, but y'all already know how it is, man. It's good to keep things fresh and tackle different kind of subjects. So, feel free to throw at me any requests y'all want to see as far as these kind of topics, mysterious disappearances and stuff like that, right? So yeah, man, with that being said, look, we'll go ahead and jump into this article. I'm not going to make this video that long and drag it out, but I did think this would be a good one. So y'all, check this out. All right, y'all. We're going to take a little bit of time to jump into this article, get a background about Tammy Lynn Leppert, and go into the possible theories of how she disappeared. First thing I can say about this before we really get into it is that she started participating in beauty pageants at just 4 years old, y'all. Her mom was a talent agent, and the beginning of the article says that she supported her child's interests. Now, at 4 years old, I can't imagine a little girl already being interested in beauty pageants. Maybe at that time, in the 60s or 70s, it might have been different. I know that is a world in itself. My message is that, we've talked so much about parents allowing their kids to jump into this life, jump into Hollywood, pushing them, promoting them, putting them into a world of wolves, no matter how young they are. We see it with Nickelodeon. We see it with Disney. It doesn't matter how old they are. Honestly, the younger, the better in that evil, wicked industry. And these parents don't know what they get themselves into. Yeah, she started off in beauty pageants, but she ended up in Scarface. And ultimately, that was the reason she has not been heard of in over 40 years. So, Tammy Lynn Leppert was an 18-year-old model and actress from Rockledge, Florida, who went missing on July 6, 1983. She was exposed to the limelight at a young age and participated in a beauty pageant at just 4 years old. From the beginning, it was apparent that Leppert was destined to be a star. Her mother, Linda Curtis, was a talent agent who supported her child's interests. Leppert had participated in almost 300 beauty pageants, and of those, she won 280, just all by 18 years old, y'all. As she grew up, Leppert realized that she wanted to be more than a pageant queen. She aspired to be an actress and was a successful in securing small roles in the movies Little Darlings, Spring Break, and the Al Pacino movie Scarface. Her dream of making it big in Hollywood was slowly materializing, but it was cut short when she disappeared in 1983, and she has never been seen or heard from since. On July 6, 1983, Tammy Lynn Leppert left her home at Rockledge before noon and bid farewell to her mother. Supposedly, she left without her purse. I don't think she had shoes on either. She told her that she would be spending the day at a beach with her friend, Keith Roberts. Leppert was expected to return home that same day, but she didn't. And that was the last time she saw her daughter. And according to reports, Leppert never made it to the beach. On the way to the beach, the two had an argument, and Roberts ended up dropping Leppert off at the parking lot of a known landmark in Cocoa Beach called the Glass Bank. That was her last known location. The team made phone calls to her Aunt Ginger's workplace from a public phone near the bank. However, her aunt was not present at work during that time and only received messages from her niece that were described as urgent. Leppert also phoned a friend named Ron, but he too wasn't able to take the call. It isn't known what happened to Leppert afterward. Tammy Lynn Leppert was reported missing on July 11th. Investigators dug deep in order to find clues about her disappearance. Those close to the expiring actress said she'd been exhibiting strange behavior ever since she came back from filming a movie. It's been said that she attended a party after the filming of Scarface wrapped, and then she came back home to Florida and she started acting paranoid. They said she was having mental episodes on set, and it was a scene where someone was supposed to get shot, and when the blood squirted, she started having an episode. But supposedly from the party that she attended is what really triggered everything, and her being paranoid, thinking that, she was going to get killed from whatever she saw at that party. Her mom asked her to explain what happened, but she said she can't in fear that they will kill her. She refused to eat prepared food because she feared it was poison. Worried about her daughter's well-being, Curtis admitted Leppert to a 72-hour psychiatric hold at a mental health facility to try and find out what was going on with her. Psychiatrists weren't able to find anything wrong with Leppert, and alcohol and drug tests also came back negative. Keith Roberts told the authorities that Leppert allegedly confided in him about leaving home and wanted him to drive her to Fort Lauderdale. However, Roberts said that he could only drive her to Cocoa Beach, and that was what sparked the fight between them. Leppert told him to let her out of his vehicle, and according to him, that was the last time he saw her. There were no clues that led to Tammy Lynn Leppert's whereabouts, and investigators were at an impasse. 2 years after her disappearance, detectives at Cocoa Beach received 2 phone calls from an unknown woman who claimed that Leppert was alive. In the first phone call, the woman said that Leppert was well and would contact authorities when the time was right. In the second call, detectives were told that Leppert was going to school in order to pursue a career in nursing. But that doesn't even sound close to what actually happened to her. One of the detectives who worked on Leppert's case, David Bartman, said he believed that the aspiring actress left on her own and foul play was not suspected, and there's no indication Leppert was taken anywhere against her will. And to some, the idea that Leppert ran away to become a nurse was unlikely, because she only wanted to ever be an actress. Now, Keith Roberts was the last known person to see Tammy Lynn, and he was investigated by detectives. There are some who think that Roberts knows more about Leppert's disappearance than he shared, but there's no proof. Authorities asked him to take a polygraph test, but he refused, and he also refused formal interviews from the investigators, which is very odd. Investigators concluded that there was no evidence of foul play, and Roberts was never named as an official suspect. So he refused a polygraph. He refused formal interviews. And they concluded that there was no evidence of foul play. I'm sure they did other investigating around him, but nothing came back that he was anyway involved. There were 2 known killers who were active at the time of Leppert's disappearance, and the possibility of one of them being responsible for the teen's disappearance was also investigated. Christopher Wilder, who was convicted of at least 8 murders, lured his targets by promising modeling jobs. However, there was no evidence to support that Leppert was one of his victims. Wilder died in 1984, and I believe it was with a shootout with the police. The other man, John Brennan Crutchley, was a rapist and serial killer who was suspected of murdering as many as 30 women in Florida. He died by suicide in 2002. And my God, did this man look evil. But investigators never found evidence linking Leppert to Crutchley as well. But my thought about that is, if he was suspected of murdering as many as 30 women in Florida, y'all, he never got convicted of murder, not one single time. He died by suicide in 2002. They never convicted him. He was suspected of murdering as many as 30 women and faced no conviction. So it could have been more than 30. It could have been less. It could have been Tammy Lynn Leppert. But we can't forget the fact that she became very unusual and paranoid after she attended a party in Hollywood that was basically associated with Al Pacino in the movie Scarface. So this is a situation that very well could have followed her back to Florida. If she was that paranoid, mind you, she was 18 years old. And this is one of those things where not all people are meant to know certain information or see certain things because it'll drive them crazy. I know people who read the Bible, y'all, and they were never the same person they was before they read. Some people just don't have the mental capacity to understand or take in certain information, knowledge, see certain things, see evil acts by other people. They can't take it. It drives them crazy. And there's nothing wrong with it. Just not everyone is built the same mentally. It's not meant to be that way. Not for everybody. And she was 18 years old. So she could have really seen she could have seen a sacrifice that took place at a party. I doubt she saw like some sex or something and it just made her say, oh, they're going to kill me because of what I saw. So she could have very well been sacrificed for the movie Scarface. But a part of me believes that whatever happened in Hollywood put her on a path to her death. A part of me believed that she might have been killed by this guy who killed up to 30 women in Florida. And her being so, impulsive and moving on her own and paranoid and, in places by herself. She was young. She was 18 years old. She might have crossed paths with this serial killer. And a lot of these serial killers in the 70s and 80s were good. That's why he didn't get convicted, y'all. He was suspected of murder. How are you suspected of murdering 30 women and you don't get convicted for one of them? They were good back then. It reminds me of the Mine Hunter. When Ed Kemper was like, he was like, if they're good, you're not going to catch them. And the BTK killer and all. If y'all saw that show, that's a real good show. Go check it out if y'all haven't watched it. And it goes into how they first coined the term serial killer and started to learn, the mindset of a serial killer, especially ones that were like motivated by sex, It just made me think about that because this very well could have been that case. She could have came across one of these sick-minded serial killers, raped, murdered, killed her, buried her somewhere, and she was never seen and heard from since then. This is a wild, wicked world, y'all. You could be one day living your life, and then the next thing you know, you never heard or seen again. And that, y'all, is a harsh reality about the world that we live in, because it could happen to anyone, and it's not just women. Although we already know this happens a lot to women still to this day. I don't know, this world is huge, y'all. It's huge. It's a lot of places where people could end up, as far as trafficking and human trafficking. Man, it's a lot of stuff that goes on in this world, y'all. And that's another thing, some people are trafficked and never seen again as well to other countries. It's a lot of different possibilities in this world that we live in. But yeah, y'all, I think that will go ahead and wrap up the Tammy Lynn video. Y'all, please let me know what y'all think about this and about getting this series started as far as mysterious disappearances. Please let me know what y'all think in the comments. And with that being said, y'all, it's Black Balloon, and I'm going to see y'all soon.
I'm out.